the most recent issue of the Benchmark Mineral Intelligence Lithium-Ion Battery Megafactory Assessment, we promoted cell and automaker BYD to Tier 1 status. Really, this moves BYD into the top tier of battery cell production. The main reasons for this were that BYD, back in 2019, announced a commercial battery arm named Foodie Battery. Prior to this, they'd only supplied batteries in-house for their own applications. But following the formation of this company, BYD started supplying lithium-ion batteries to external companies and qualifying those batteries with other automakers. Benchmark has learned that those cells are being qualified with a number of global automakers, and it looks highly likely that they're going to be either used or qualified by those companies. This essentially qualifies BYD as a Tier 1 cell manufacturer. On top of cell qualification through Foodie Battery, the commercial battery arm, BYD also meet the requirements of being a Tier 1 cell manufacturer, which is to supply multiple multinational automakers, but also they supply cells into their own vehicles, which are being sold on a global basis, particularly their e-bus network, which is amongst the largest in the world. BYD joined 6 other companies in this Tier 1 cell manufacturer category as part of the Megafactory assessment. There are 2 other Chinese cell manufacturers, one of those being CATL, who is the world's largest cell manufacturer, and a company called Envision AESC, which was previously a Japanese-owned company, but fairly recently bought out by Envision Group in China. On top of that, the other Tier 1 cell manufacturers as part of the assessment are LG Chem, SK Innovation, Samsung SDI, and Panasonic. So why did Benchmark introduce a tiering system? Really, this is to show that all cells aren't created equal. The requirements from the EV battery sector are the highest of any lithium-ion battery requirement in the industry. So Tier 1 really stipulates that these batteries can be used by multinational automakers. It's an important differentiation to make because you have a wide range of qualities within the lithium-ion supply chain, and there's only really a handful of companies that are capable of supplying the EV industry generally, and an even smaller group of companies that can supply multinational automakers where the qualification requirements are at their highest. The definitions of the individual tiers of cell maker can be found in the Benchmark Megafactory assessment, but briefly, Tier 1 means that company has been qualified by more than one multinational automaker and can supply more than 5 gigawatt-hours of cells on an annualized basis. So really that's meeting quality requirements and the quantity requirements needed by the EV industry. Tier 2 also includes cell manufacturers that supply cells into the EV industry, but more so the domestic Chinese EV industry, where quality requirements aren't quite as strict as the global market. This can also include experienced cell manufacturers who are not supplying the EV market, but other applications, but are large companies with 5+ gigawatt-hours of capacity, for example, and maybe supplying into high-end consumer electronic applications. Then finally, Tier 3 really is either new cell makers, so companies which have no prior cell production experience. This can be new entrants to the market, like some of the companies we're seeing appearing in Europe, Northvolt being the obvious one, but Britishvolt in the UK, for example. Or this can be small lithium-ion cell manufacturers who are looking to just supply low-end applications, maybe like power banks or something like that. These companies are typically located in China. The reason why being a Tier 1 cell manufacturer is important to the battery industry is about quality, really. Now, as an automaker, when you're looking to place your batteries in your vehicle, they need to last for a long period of time. It varies, but we typically see warranties on electric vehicles expected to last somewhere around 7 to 8 years. And for that battery pack to retain around 80% of its original capacity. If those batteries don't meet that quality standard and you start to have to replace cells under warranty, the cost is really extensive and could be, in some cases, a company ender for electric vehicle manufacturers. So ensuring that every single cell meets that very strict requirement is what the Tier 1 cell manufacturer can offer an automaker, that peace of mind. Now, The other thing which complicates things further is that on top of the already strict quality requirements, we're asking for more and more from the lithium-ion battery. This is generally through greater energy density. And so these cell makers need to be very, very skilled at low impurities, low intolerances for production errors, but also investing heavily to bring the next generation of lithium-ion technology to market. So really Tier 1 applies to those companies that not only have the experience in production, but also R&D, and can invest adequately to be at the forefront of the market. You can find more information about the benchmark tiering system on our website or as part of the Benchmark Minerals Lithium-Ion Battery Megafactory Assessment, which is a monthly assessment published to our subscribers. For more info on this or any other Benchmark product, please contact info@benchmarkminerals.com.